This is an overview of the New England Renewable Energy Zone. The New England REZ is designed to deliver 8 gigawatts of deliverable energy. Considering the different capacity factors and using a mix of 60% wind and 40% solar and battery, there will need to be a construction of up to 24 gigawatts of generation capacity. This could be expected to be made up of over 2,300 6.2 megawatt wind towers and around 19 million solar panels. This was all designed without any community consultation. EnergyCo have simply described the project to the community, not designed it with the community in mind. The New England is not a special renewable resource area. It was chosen using desktop mapping and developer lobbying, with little or no strategic planning. Much of that developer interest has now evaporated due to landholder refusal or the economic reality that mountainous access and difficult terrain and dense regional settlement on high-value agricultural land is not suitable for these developments. The New England REZ has unique concerns relating to high biodiversity value. Areas of koala habitat are prevalent in the Great Dividing Ranges, as are areas of other habitat for threatened species of both flora and fauna. The glossy black cockatoo, greater glider, brush-tailed rock wallaby, species of bats and many others are all impacted by the development in this fragile area. For each project, hundreds of hectares of trees, many being 100-year-old hollow-bearing trees and various threatened species, are destined to be cleared to make way for access roads, laydown areas and foundation areas for wind turbines. These fragile areas of eucalypt timber have been challenged by old practices of clearing, then more recently drought. What has been retained are the important ridgetop corridors of remnant vegetation. Unfortunately, this is the target area for clearing to make way for construction of wind farm access roads and transmission, as well as the wind towers themselves. Without these important connecting corridors of remnant vegetation, wildlife survivability is compromised. The protected wedge-tailed eagle uses the updraft from the Apsley Gorge to soar above the edge of the national park. This is right in the path of the proposed Winterbourne Wind Project, and they face decimation if these towers are built. Massive solar projects are set over B-cell areas, government speak for biophysical strategic agricultural land. This is a classification that applies to high-value food bowls. Solar placements are taking production away from prime agricultural areas. In the event of fire, hailstorm or other damage, these toxic panels would leach and leave these areas poisoned, unable to produce food or fibre again. The majority of the Salisbury Plains and its surrounding landmass consists of black basalt soil, which is highly valuable for farming and livestock production. It makes no sense to target some of the most productive country on the eastern seaboard. These solar projects are on floodplains whose catchment flows directly into the Macleay River, flowing through Kempsey, leading to the likelihood of pollution of an important river system. Access is a major issue for the New England REZ. Many of the New England towns are accessed by a limited network of single-lane mountainous roads. These roads leave no space for passing of slow-travelling, oversized and overmassed trucks, leaving business and residents without safe or effective access for 3 years at a time for each project. This impacts time-critical livestock delivery, transport industries, tourism commerce, courier businesses, medical services, school bus traffic and general transport. This leaves communities frustrated and leads to dangerous driving conditions on all roads, increasing the likelihood of accidents and fatalities. The New England has uniquely high agricultural production levels and high land values. With these smaller holdings relative to other REZ zones, these projects have a larger number of impacted neighbours, again from poor planning decisions. Of note is the Boorlong Wind Project is against Armidale and has 60 homes within 4 kilometres of the 300-metre high turbines. With a heavier reliance on aircraft for agriculture, aerial firefighting, medical care and retrieval, the New England REZ is also impacted by characteristic low cloud and fog on top of the Dividing Range. As it rolls up over the east and to the higher altitudes, the eastern side of the REZ is at risk of losing these critical services if wind towers to a height of 260 to 300 metres are erected. Commercial operators have described these potential wind project areas as no-fly zones if there is a presence of fog, cloud or smoke from fires. As many of these areas are against National Park with heavily timbered areas, the risk of fire is high and we lose our most important firefighting tool, aerial waterbombing. Pumped hydro is being increasingly checkmated by electric battery, leaving projects like Dungowan Pumped Hydro out in the cold. It is increasingly obvious that large-scale projects in the New England REZ are becoming less and less bankable. Site access into the mountainous dividing range via single-lane country roads and highways is a major project blockage and a community impost. If this was wide open country accessible by a major highway, it would be a different story. Without considerable and ongoing subsidy, these projects are not viable in comparison to projects west of the Newell Highway. The New England Res is a broken design, using outdated information and poorly located and poorly planned.